In this tutorial, I'll show you how to make a door that opens when you get close to it and closes when you leave. First, create a blueprint actor and call it whatever you want. Then, add a static mesh and duplicate that because we want 2 of them. Set this one to be the door and this one to be the door frame. These assets can be found in the starter content folder, but I'll also leave a link to them in the description. Now my door rotates on its corner, which is what I want, but if yours doesn't for some reason, select the door frame, add a scene component, and then attach your mesh to the scene component. Then move the scene component to the corner of the door frame and move the mesh into the door. Then when you rotate the scene component, the door rotates on its corner. For the rest of the tutorial, whenever you're rotating the door, make sure to rotate the scene component instead. Rename your meshes so you know which one's which, and then move the door into position. Next, add a box collision, and then scale it and move it around so it fits around the door. If a player enters this area, then the door will open. In the details panel of the box collision, scroll down and click on component begin overlap. Drag out from other actor and cast to your player character. In my case, I'm using the third person character blueprint, so I'll cast to that. Next, add a timeline and double click to edit. Change the length to 1 and add a new float track. Right click and add a key. Right click and add another key. Set the first key to 0, 0 and set the second key to 1, 1. Plug in your timeline, grab the door mesh and drag it out to get a reference. Then drag from the door and type set relative rotation. Plug it in to update. Right click new rotation to split it. Drag out from alpha, type multiply and plug it into yaw. This number is the maximum number of degrees that the door can rotate, so for now we'll set it to 90. Make sure you've compiled, go to the asset browser and drag the door into your scene. Now we have a very simple door that opens when you approach it. To make the door close when we leave the area, simply go down to the details panel again, scroll down and click on component end overlap and plug the cast into reverse. Now whenever the player leaves the area, the door will close. To change how quickly the door moves, get a reference to your timeline, drag out and find the set play rate node. If we set this to 2, then the door will open twice as fast. You also don't need to set the play rate right here, you can set it on begin play if you want to. If you want the door to close automatically after a certain time has passed, then you can create a set timer by event node. Plug that in here, unplug this, and create a custom event. Plug the new event into the reverse input, and then you can either plug this event delegate into here directly, or you can drag out and create a new event, and then find your closed door event in this list. This just keeps everything nice and tidy, and then you can move the timeline wherever you want. Then set the time here, and now after 2 seconds, the door will close automatically. If you want the door to open for any character and not just the player, then you can instead cast to character. If the door doesn't open, then you might need to change the collision settings. Select the box collision and scroll down to the collision settings. Make sure that generate overlap events is enabled, and that your box collision overlaps with whatever object type your player uses. To check this, go to your player character and select one of the components that has collision enabled. Scroll down to the collision settings and you'll see my character has the pawn object type, so I need to make sure that the box collision overlaps with pawn, which it does. Also, make sure your player character overlaps with your box collision. In my case, the box collision is world dynamic, and the player character blocks it. If the player character blocks it, that means it's also overlapping with it, so that's fine. Also, make sure collision enabled is set to collision enabled or query only on both the player character and the box overlap volume. For optimization, you can create a custom collision preset and untick any object types that you don't want the box collision to overlap with. This prevents the box collision from overlapping with every actor in your scene. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and let me know if there's any tutorials you want me to make.